Good afternoon everybody, it's Ernie again with another unboxing Blu-ray. I picked all these except for one. All of these from Amazon Germany. A couple of weeks back I promised to do you an updated Blu-ray review, so here we go. First one I picked up from Asda down the local for £4. It was cheap, and the rest are going to be all from Germany. And I picked up Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds in last year's flop hit. It wasn't a hit, but it's flop, but I liked it. That is Rest in Peace Department 3D. So for £4 I'm not moaning. Basically, Men in Black meets The Frighteners meets Ghostbusters. They work for the Rest in Peace Department. They're both old police officers who've been killed, but they have to stop an apocalypse happening, and it's funny. Kevin Bacon's in it as a bad guy. It's good fun, you enjoy that, and for £4 it's a no-brainer. There we go, RIPD. Right, the next lot up, I picked 5 from Germany that weren't in this deal. The first deal was 10, that's 10 for basically €50, 10 Blu-rays. And I thought, well, £34 English money, I'm not complaining. So the first of that 10 is early 1980s John Bowman classic, Helen Mirren and Gabriel Byrne. And we're talking about The Legend of King Arthur, and we are talking about Excalibur. My stepbrother Dave Delaney loves this movie. It's very violent and it's really good. It's an old-fashioned tale, old storytelling at its best. It's gory, lots of blood in it, and there's a scene where the sword comes out of the lake, and it's absolutely amazing. Loved it to bits. So that's the first of my 10 Warner Brothers Blu-rays for €50. Right, secondly, won the Oscar 2 years ago. Stars Ben Affleck, John Goodman and Alan Arkin. It's also directed by Ben Affleck. And of course we are talking about the extended cut of Argo. Or as they say in Ireland, Argo, feck yourself. You know, but there you go. This is basically about a group of American civil workers who work for the government who are trapped in the basement of somebody's house while civil war breaks out in a small country. The only way of rescuing them is if Ben Affleck and his character and his 2 friends decide they're going to go and shoot a science fiction movie in a desert of this town. But the really secret agents trying to get them out and smuggle them out of the country. But that's the disguise. It's a really good film. It deserved the Oscar. And that's Argo. Thirdly, my sister went to see this, Brenda Hayes, at the cinema on Boxing Day in the late 80s. It never got released anywhere else on the cinema, only here in the UK. American had to wait for it on video. And we're talking about the legendary Michael Jackson, starring Joe Pesci as well, and that is Moonwalker on Blu-ray. And it's a good film, mainly all music, all about Michael Jackson and everything. The best bit, in my opinion, is when he does Smooth Criminal. Brilliant, absolute legend. That's Moonwalker, hope you enjoy. And next up, we've got a film that made more money in the UK and the world, including America, than Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And that was a massive, massive movie. And we are talking about a film that had a #1 song as well for the same year, that spent 16 weeks in the UK at #1 by Bryan Adams. We are of course talking about Alan Rickman, Christian Slater, Morgan Freeman, Mary Mastroianni, Kevin Costner, and Kevin Reynolds directed it. We are of course talking about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And this is the director's cut, which I've not seen. I'm looking forward to it. And all these are German titles, but they're all in English. The soundtrack's English, it's just that the writing's German. And I'm looking forward to that one. The next one up is a sequel to another hit that was Oscar nominated, and Tommy Lee Jones won the Best Actor Oscar, or Best Supporting Actor should I say, for his role as the bounty hunter in The Fugitive. He reprises that along with Wesley Snipes and Robert Downey Jr. and we are talking US Marshals. Great film, I really loved it. It's got a fantastic scene on a train with Wesley Snipes and a great shootout in a cemetery. I recommend this along with The Fugitive on a double bill for a Saturday night, a few bottles of wine. That's US Marshals. Right, next up, Denzel Washington has only played a baddie twice. That's twice in his films. Quick news flash, he's been up for Equalizer 2, is going to be made. Can't wait for that. But his first baddie role was this one. His second baddie role was as a gangster in Ridley Scott's American Gangster with Russell Crowe, another fantastic movie. This one is what set him on his path, and he was a tour de force, starring with Ethan Hawke and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg in bit roles. This is, of course, the fantastic Training Day. Denzel plays a bad policeman, a bad copper, and he is a nasty bastard, and wow, what a performance. King Kong ain't got nothing on this Blu-ray. Trust me, this is a good one. That's Training Day. Next up, on the Warner Brothers set, this is the American R-rated version. In England, it got I think it was been called a 15 or a PG-13. In America, it was R-rated, it was uncut, and it stars Vanessa Williams and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And James Caan, who also plays a baddie in this one. This, of course, is the uncut, unreleased Eraser. Basically, Arnie plays an agent along with other people who can basically get people off the face of the earth, erase the memories, erase the history, and put them in safe houses. Vanessa Williams needs to be erased. How they do it is up to them. It's really good, clever, I enjoyed it, good old popcorn fun. So you like a bit of Saturday night action with the old king of actioners from the 80s, Big Arnie, you're going to love Eraser. There we go. Right, we've got 3 more to go. Right, this next film was the one that started George Lucas off. It was George Lucas, John Carpenter, Martin Scorsese. They're all part of the Roger Corman School of Filming, along with Spielberg. And this is the one that's set in the future. If you think of The Island, Michael Bay's rubbish film, which is good popcorn fun anyway, and Logan's Run, this is very similar. It's set in the future. It looks very clinical. Robert Duvall plays THX-1138, right? That's his character, and that's the title of the film. And he basically wants to know what's outside, but the powers that be that give him all these suits and everything don't let him, and he basically goes on the run to try and escape the bubble he's been living in. And that is the director's cut of THX-1138. I bought the original DVD when I was in America in Las Vegas years ago. I've still got it, but I've been looking forward to this one. It's a sci-fi classic. It's up there with 2001 and 10 and all the other sci-fis. Very similar to The Island and very similar to Logan's Run. That's George Lucas' directorial debut, THX-1138. Right, 2 more on my 10 Warner Brothers DVDs. This one was a sequel to Scott Bradley's favourite film of all time, which is Stanley Kubrick's 2001. Now, I've checked on Amazon UK and a few other places, and 2010 isn't available in the UK, but it is on Blu-ray in Germany. I watched this the other night, and I enjoyed it. A bit confusing because I'm not a massive sci-fi fan. My partner Richard is. I enjoyed it. It's good fun. It's not as good as the original, but it's a good, clean, crisp soundtrack on this, and the visuals are really good for its year. Helen Mirren's in this, along with Roy Scheider, John Lithgow, and they play basically a group of scientists from USA and Russia who have to try and save the planet. So it's pretty good. 2010, sequel to A Space Odyssey. And my last one on my Warner Brothers set is, remember Logan's Run and THX and all that? It's a mid-70s film starring the brilliant Yul Brynner. They did a sequel with Peter Fonda in it, and Yul Brynner reprised his role. Yul Brynner in this plays an android robot. We are talking Josh Brolin in Westworld. I remember going to the cinema to see this. Think of Total Recall. It's basically where people can go to a different planet and be somebody they don't. It's like a theme park, like Alton Towers, but you'd be a different character. You can be a cowboy, You might be in the medieval times, you might be a caveman and all this, and these theme park employ people who are really robots, but they're very authentic and very looking. But the robots get loose and run amok like Jurassic Park. And Yul Brynner plays this gunslinger who's malfunctioned and is out to kill the humans. It's a classic sci-fi film. It's the first film directed by Michael Crichton, who, as we know, writes Jurassic Park and lots of other big good film books and stuff. So that's Westworld, and that was my 10 Blu-rays for €50, £34. Now the other set, I've got 5 more from Germany. I'll do them quickly, which are these lot. Right, the first one I ordered was a John Carpenter's classic Assault on Precinct 13. When it arrived, it wasn't described on the advert in Amazon. It was a digibook with 3 discs. I ended up with this photocopied sleeve, DVD box with 3 discs in it, nothing else. Complained to Amazon, and they reimbursed me my money and let me keep this instead of sending it back to Germany. So I've got the special edition digibook 3-disc set without the digibook of the classic Assault on Precinct 13, about a group of people who are helping a person who's come in who needs help, and they're being bombarded overnight by a gang of virile, basically youths, and it's a cracking film, a brilliant soundtrack. Assault on Precinct 13. Secondly, it's a sequel again. The first one I went to see in 1982 with my brother Tommy. It was Steven Spielberg, Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist, and I went back to see the sequel. I didn't like it at first when I first watched it when I was younger. I've watched it a few times since and I love it. This is Heather Langenkamp, not Langenkamp, the young girl who plays Heather. She's Poltergeist 2, the other side. The thing that scared me is the old preacher. He looks like a walking skeleton. Oh, and it frightened the life out of me. And he's a big Indian guy who was in One for the Cuckoo's Nest who tries to help them. Poltergeist 2, the other side. I loved it. Great film. Absolutely brilliant. That was only about €5. So, good choice. The next one, this has come out on DVD, on a Blu-ray in America by Twilight Movies. A special limited edition. It's from 1985, starring Roddy McDowall, William Ragsdale, and we are of course talking about Tom Holland's classic, brilliant, fantastic movie with Chris Sarandon as the baddie, Fright Night. I love Fright Night. Absolutely brilliant film. I got this one for about €7, which is about £4. It's a brilliant. It's not available in the UK on Blu-ray, which is, I'm surprised. The remake with Colin Farrell was not bad. Not great, not bad. David Tennant was in that one as well. But this one, love it, love it, love it. Love the soundtrack, love the feel of it. Old school Hammer meets modern funny and violent. And it's gory. So that's Fright Night. 2 more to go. And they're from my favourite director of all time. I mentioned one of his earlier. We are talking about another one that's not available on Blu-ray in the UK. We are talking about the German Blu-ray release of Stephen King and John Carpenter's ultimate brilliant car movie, Christine. Oh, I love Christine. I love the soundtrack, the rock and roll they do. Keith Gordon and John Stockwell play brilliant parts in this. Keith Gordon is the one who gets obsessed with the car. And it is one of the best films of the 80s. I love the dialogue. I love everything about it. I've been to several cinemas all over the Manchester area to watch this, just so I could see other people's reactions. And I've seen this, first of all, at the Odeon Cinema in Manchester at 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon on my own. And I just loved it. That's John Carpenter's Christine. A great film. Now, to tie up my last DVD, I have two favourite John Carpenter films. I can't split them up. I love Halloween, but I love this other film just as much. And I've already got it on Blu-ray and a video and everything else that goes with it. But this is the German Universal Steelbook edition of John Carpenter's classic Das Ding, which is known as The Thing. Nice shiny Blu-ray. Universal UK released different version with a big greeny slimy monster on, which is very rare on DVD, but this has been released and it's only €8 on Germany. There we go, there's the thing. And everyone knows the film. Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley, they're all trapped, a load of blokes trapped in the Antarctic, and they've got to fight off this alien that can imitate life perfectly. So that's a great film. There, altogether, all that lot cost me around about 45 quid, 50 quid. I was quite happy paying all that for all of them. So I hope you enjoyed the little video. Sorry it's a bit long, but I'm going to put it onto YouTube and I'm going to put it onto Facebook. I'd appreciate comments, nice ones if you got them. Daniel Orton, all my friends, Chris Conley, Mike Burns, Richard Corns, Peacock, everyone who likes my videos. See you all soon, take care, and remember, keep on watching.